Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. Well, on Thursday midday shows, Joel Panorwood sits down with a Grow Next Gen teacher, leader, and science teacher at Fort Jennings High School to discuss soil and water quality in the classroom. Brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and soybean farmers.
Joining me is Andy Farnham. And Andy, good to have you back on. We're talking round two about irrigation. I like your topic, the way you've looked at it today, as supplemental irrigation. Explain how you view that as someone in the irrigation field.
Supplemental irrigation is we don't have to have irrigation grow a normal crop. The supplemental rainfall of adding irrigation can boost your yields by 15, 20, 30% on the ground that you've got. We get plenty of rainfall here in the Ohio area. We just don't get it at the right time. So the supplemental irrigation moves that rainfall from early in the spring to July, August when we need it.
Also, I thought it was interesting. You did a comparison as we've looked at some notes talking about what it takes to add irrigation to ground you already own and increasing those bushels you're talking about versus the competition field of buying new ground. That's got to be an interesting perspective for a lot of producers.
Yeah, with the latest trends in ground, $10,000 to $15,000 an acre or more or less, it costs a lot to buy more ground to produce more bushels, whereas we can do that 15, 20% increase in production by putting irrigation on the acres you already own. And you don't have to get a bigger planter, a bigger combine, bigger sprayer. You're just increasing the production on the acres you already own for a lot less investment than buying the neighboring farm or increasing your farm.
Some might say we don't have water. That's probably a conversation they should have with you also, because there are ways to gain water on above ground storage and maybe well worth the investment as well instead of buying new ground again.
Yes, absolutely. We've talked about how we get enough rain all year long. We just don't get it at the right time. So there are absolutely ways to store that water, whether it's a reservoir or using water out of a ditch or a pond, somewhere. We don't need a lot of water. We just need it at the right time.
And for more information, you can get a hold of Andy. His email is andy@agirrigation.net. His website is simply agirrigation.net. Andy, thanks for the update.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, 2025 could be another strong year for the dairy industry.
Milk and dairy product prices are strong right now and have been strong for several months now.
And, the outlook is for them to remain relatively strong into 2025.
USDA Outlook Board Chairman Mark Jekanowski.
Dairy product demand, both globally and domestically, is strong, especially for cheese and butter. And our export demand for dry products is very strong, whey and non-fat dry milk. So that's helping to support prices of those products.
And of course, prices down at the farm levels for milk, which Mark says are averaging $22.75 a hundredweight this year, could be $22.85 next year.
Historically, these are reasonably strong prices for the dairy industry.
This is Gary Crawford reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
With little sign of a breakthrough on the Farm Bill in Congress, farm groups are shifting their attention to a proposed $21 billion bailout bill. Successful Farming Reports analysts are questioning whether the price tag for the proposed agricultural aid is too high to be accepted and say that in the relatively short lame duck session underway, there may be room for only one piece of farm-related legislation. The overarching issue for lawmakers is funding the government past December 20th when a stopgap spending law expires. The markets are next.
Soybeans grown in Ohio and across the heartland are meeting the feedstock demand for clean fuels. Biodiesel is a clean-burning and reliable fuel that enhances engine life, power, and mileage. Plus, this high-performance fuel works in any diesel engine without modification. With biodiesel, we fuel the economy, do good for the environment, and support soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number 1 insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, December corn $4.29 and a quarter, up 5 and a quarter. March corn $4.39 and 3/4, up 4 1/2. January beans $10.09 and 3/4, up 11 and a quarter. March beans $10.19, up 10 and a quarter. July wheat $5.81 and a half, up 11 and a half. At the Mercantile Exchange, December cattle $184.10, up $1.15. December hogs $80.02, up 52 cents. January feeder cattle, $249.50, up $2.27. This is the Ohio AgNet.